Lou Rawls has been busy with national anthems. He sang the national anthem over at Candlestick Park at the football game, took a helicopter and flew over here and had just sung the national anthem for Game 7 of the World Series. This crowd today, they really woke up here yesterday. Listen to the roar, and they're on their feet. The Oakland players have criticized their own fans for not being enthusiastic enough. Well, I guess the message got through, because they were on fire yesterday, and they're about as enthused as the fans that you have at Shea Stadium when the Mets are home. Outside of one player, it's going to be an all right-handed batting order for the Oakland A's. This man, Ken Holtzman, won the opening game. He's lost one. He's really pitched only a third of an inning in the last week. He was knocked out in the first inning Wednesday night in New York. He started the opening game of the series last Saturday. Maybe it was a blessing for him, because the latter part of the season he tailed off. He had 10 days rest and looked very good in the playoffs, pitching a powerful game against Baltimore. And let's take a look at him in slow motion as his teammate, Catfish Hunter, who won yesterday, makes some comments about Ken Holtzman.
Kenny Holtzman is a control pitcher like myself. He's got to have his control to win today. He's got to keep the ball low and hit and throw to spots. And he's got a good breaking ball. The only time he throws that is just to make the guy swing at a bad pitch. He doesn't try to throw it for a strike. If he has his good control today, I think he'll win easily.
While Holtzman warms up, John Matlack had just completed his warm-ups. He has his jacket on. He's walking in toward the Met dugout. John Matlack. There he is. And the New York Mets' hopes rest on the youngster today. So here we go now. We're ready for the championship game. And in here to tell you about the play-by-play of the first part of the game, well, it's been our privilege to work with again the outstanding broadcaster of the Oakland A's, Mr. Monty Moore.
Thank you very much, Kurt, and hello once again, everybody. Wayne Garrett, leadoff batter for the Mets, has 5 hits in the series. He's been up 25 times, and Holtzman starts him off with a strike. You talk about electricity in the air. It is here today. It should be. It is the 7th game of the Classic of Baseball. There's the curve from Holtzman as he shows it early today. He misses with it. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Wayne Garrett, born in Brooksville, Florida, lives in Sarasota. Fouls it back. It's foul, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. In the regular season, Garrett hit 16 home runs for the Mets. Curveball, he got him looking, strike 3. This telecast is presented by authority of Major League Baseball and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Commissioner of Baseball is prohibited. Felix Millan, second baseman. 5 hits, 28 at-bats in the series. One of the toughest strikeouts in all of baseball. Takes a look at a Holtzman fastball strike. In Holtzman's career in the National League, he had trouble with this ball club. There's Rusty Staub on deck. The Mets beat Kenny 9 times. He beat them only 5. He came right in on beyond that time, and he fouled off, strike 2.
Monty, that little spot we did with Catfish Hunter where he said he likes to throw his curveball, but not for strikes. I think Kenny's going to have to throw his curveball for strikes today. They've been laying back late in the season, and the Mets the first time against him for the fastball. So he's going to have to get that breaking ball over early and establish it.
No balls, 2 strikes on Millan. It's some kind of a play. Hit him on the foot.
Foul ball.
Millan fouled that ball right down on his foot. No balls, 2 strikes. Millan chokes the bat as far up as anybody in baseball. There's one player in the American League that goes up that far on it, Kenny Suarez of the Texas Rangers.
Slight breeze out today, Monty, from home plate toward third, home plate toward second. Bit of a batter's win today.
Campy Campaneris at short. Darren Johnson, 2 down.
appears to be keeping the ball down low. Campaneris, one of the outstanding players in the series. He and Harrelson have been just sensational defensively.
Here's Rusty Staub. Rusty has had a very fine World Series, 9 for 22.
Interested to see how they're playing him now. They're trying to get the attention out in center field. Jackson is from the A's dugout, and they finally move him into left center against Staub.
Curveball, and it's hit into left center. Jackson moving over. He's got it. 3 up, 3 down. After a 1/2 inning of play at the Oakland Coliseum, the score, the Mets nothing, the A's coming to bat.
Here's a brilliant young left-hander, 23-year-old John Matlack. Has allowed no earned runs in this World Series. He's won 1 and lost 1. He's allowed only 8 hits in a total of 23 innings. And only 1 earned run in his last 5 starts. And in slow motion, take a look at him as his teammate, Jerry Koosman, gives you some slants on the pitching of Matlack and what he'll have to do today.
John is a very consistent pitcher. He has a good fastball, a good curveball, and he keeps them both down real well. His curveball, he can break into a hitter, or he can break it straight down on the outside part of the plate. He's got a very good moving fastball.
Bert Campaneris, the A's shortstop, will lead it off. In the World Series, Campy has 6 hits and 27 at-bats. For the year, he hit .250. 5 of the last 6 years, he's been the top base stealer in the American League. His own teammate, Billy North, surpassed him this year, as did Tommy Harper of Boston. Strike 1. Reggie Jackson said he thinks that John Matlack is a left-handed Tom Seaver. He thinks Matlack is just as fast as Seaver is. There's the curveball, and he got it in there on the inside corner at the knees. It's no balls, 2 strikes. Campaneris from Pueblo, Nuevo, Cuba. Lives now, however, in Walker, Missouri. Campaneris trying to converse with Marty Springstead, an American League umpire. He didn't like that last call, but it's there on the board, 0-2. Curved him again, and it's fouled away.
Wonder how Marty is with his Spanish.
Debbie Sevier. She's improved her throwing considerably in the last 3 years here. She used to couldn't get it back to the dugout at all. But she's grown up and learned to throw. Shooting at that outside corner with a curveball. Matlack thought he had it. Obviously, he missed it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Matlack, the $50,000 bonus boy, signed the same year that Bloomberg, Mayberry, Gritch, Rader, and some of the other top names in the major leagues today. He stayed right with a breaking ball on Campaneris, and Wayne Garrett throws him out.
Garrett, I know, lucky or happy to get a ball earlier in this series. He's been a little shaky at third base in recent games, so I'm sure he wants to get that first tough chance out of the way.
Now for the Oakland A's, Joe Rudy.
Here's Campy. Matlack has had a good breaking ball, changed speeds that time, and he can really run on a routine ball at the third.
Here's Joe Rudy, who's hit the ball hard in the series. He has 7 hits. Breaking ball is low, and he's staying right with it.
Control might be a factor for Matlack. He averaged nearly 4 walks every 9 innings this season. But in the World Series, he's given up only 4 walks in 14 innings. He's been around the plate very well.
He's had pressure games before. He's been in that final hectic week, the National League East, then in the great playoff series with the Cincinnati Reds. Now this is the 3rd game he's pitched in this year's World Series. He's staying with that curveball. It's up high. From behind home plate, on the third base side, you look right down the right field line. See the umpire alignment, 3 of them used down each sideline. Matlack taking a shot at the outside corner with a fastball, missed with it. He's behind Joe Rudy now, 3-0. And if if the Met scouts have seen any pattern at all the last 3-4 weeks following the A's, they have seen that Dick Williams very rarely gives a take sign on a 3-ball, no-strike count. He doesn't take the bat out of the hands of the batters very often. And there is the A's skipper, Dick Williams, with the trainer, Joe Romo. He looked at it, ball 4. Joe Rudy bringing up Sal Bando, whose bat the last 3 weeks of the regular American League season was as hot as a $2 pistol. He hit everything.
You wonder if the A's are going to hit a home run in this series. Only twice in series history has a team gone through 7 or more games without hitting a home run. And the A's have not had a home run.
Bando hit 29 of them in the course of the regular season. Good fastball, but it's outside. That fastball seems to be running on Matlack right now.
Tails away from right-handed hitters. Bando yesterday against Seaver was trying to hit to the opposite field, but he still could not control his body, and he kept pulling away. They keep pitching him outside, and he hasn't been able to go to right center. Monty, he has good power there.
A lot of his home runs have gone over the right center field wall this year, and a lot of his extra base hits have gone that way. It's interesting to see how they've changed defensive strategies in the outfield for several hitters in the series. Bando is one of them. They now play him straight up everywhere. Breaking ball hit the inside corner. Here's a look at the outfield. You can see the center fielder, Hahn, who keys the shift for a defense straight away on Bando, right up the middle. He opened the series playing him in left center. The curveball that Kuzman was talking about. He keeps in on the right-handed batters. 2 balls, 1 strike on Sal Bando. Rudy off first. Bando, good cutter to fastball, a little late on it, and it's back into the crowd. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Matlack spent 3 years in AAA ball, which is rather long, really, for anybody in AAA ball, but Bob Sheffing, the general manager of the Mets, who's done such an outstanding job, wanted to make sure that this great prospect was ready when he got here, and he obviously was. He was the National League Rookie of the Year. Bando hammers a curveball, but he hit it on the piston. He's got to go back for some new lumber. He broke the bat.
Matlack so far throwing more breaking balls earlier in this ball game than he did the last time out. Usually starts the ball game off with that good lively fastball, and when he gets his control and he's down in the strike zone, he starts coming with a curveball.
Pitcher has to have a lot of confidence in his control of that breaking ball and throw that many of them into the right-handed batters trying to throw it inside, because you could leave it out there over that plate pretty easily, and it's a long gone one when you do. There's Reggie Jackson on deck. 2-2 count on Bando. Fouled away the fastball. Matlack very quick here this afternoon. They tell us during the season that most Met pitchers work with 4 days rest. This is the second time in this series Matlack has gone with only 3.
They've had a 5-man rotation, which is ideal for a team. And they haven't broken that rotation. They have taken a look at the long haul, which you must do.
First look at Matlack's move to first.
You talked about how quick he is. The man on deck, Reggie Jackson, says Matlack is the quickest throwing left-hander he's faced this year.
Fouled off by Bando. Reggie Jackson, who really works on coming up with quotes that'll get into the papers, says that Nolan Ryan, people ask how fast Nolan Ryan is, he says he's quicker than instant coffee. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's Reggie waiting, throwing the sunflower seeds in. Struck him out. Went to the outside part of the plate with that fastball, and Bando didn't get around on it. There are 2 down, and here's Reggie Jackson.
Here'll be the key of the game, I think, how Jackson can handle left-handed pitching. He's hit, the A's have gone in this series. But he's only hit right-handers. He hasn't done very much against left-handers. If they neutralize Jackson, that'll be a big key.
He's had a unique series. He's had 8 base hits, but they've been in bunches. He had 4 in one game and 3 in another. Of his 32 home runs this year, 12 were hit off left-hand pitching. Check swing roller. There's a big out. Garrett gets it, and he does. Jackson loses his swing. In the first, no runs or hits. A man left to score. 0-0.
Game, I throw mainly fastball. I'll try to mix in a few curves, but basically I'll try to pitch the same way I normally do, is keep the ball down and away to most of their hitters. And I think that Jones and Staub, 2 of their most dangerous hitters. If I get in the spot, I might try to pitch around them in a particular situation, but there's no tomorrow, and I feel that Dick's going to go with everybody today, so I'm just going to do the best I can.
Well, Kenny Holtzman was very near prophetic. He said Cleon Jones would be one of his toughest men, and he may pitch around him. The first pitch of the inning was driven 400 feet to the center field wall by Cleon Jones, and Reggie Jackson caught it. Incidentally, Jackson has played no center field for the A's whatsoever until the American League playoffs this year. That job was handled by Billy North, who was injured last 2 weeks of the season. Here is John Milner. Backs off from a curve that is high and inside. 1-0. He led the Mets in home runs, Milner. He's had 8 hits in this World Series. He's been up 24 times. Holtzman behind him, 2-0 now. Really has a quick bat. Popped it up. Dick Green backing up in a short right. Makes the catch. He had a little tough trouble with that one. The sun is very, very bright here. The skies right overhead are blue.
Green started circling after this ball. It would have been an easier play for Jesus Salou, the right fielder, but Green waved him off, and now the wind catches it. That's gusting up over here.
I believe, Tony, that wind is going to be a bit tricky today. It's about 10-15 miles an hour now, and it may cause some troubles.
The A's World Champion pennant flying above the center field fence, but that wind up there is not always anywhere close to what it is on the playing surface. That's about 120 feet higher than the playing surface. Here's Jerry Grody, swinging late on a Holtzman fastball, fouling it off.
No, Monty, Grody hasn't hit any home runs, but twice he's put outfielders right up against the fence.
And twice he's hit foul balls that just missed the foul pole. You recall the long game here a week ago. He just missed one in the 9th inning. Holtzman, a study in concentration. First pitch was outside to Grody. You noticed he came back in on him that time, and that's why Holtzman doesn't have to throw a whole lot of different pitches. He ordinarily has good control of the fastball and has 2 or 3 by running the fastball away. There's the on-deck batter, Don Hahn. Back outside with a fastball. He's now 2-1. Holtzman has pitched 2 no-hitters in the National League, one of them without striking out a batter. Liner to center field, Reggie Jackson. Dives, has he got it? He has! 3 down, Reggie Jackson.
Jackson with a whale of a day at the bat yesterday. Watch this catch. Hit hard on the line. He never gave up on it. Just kept on coming and catches it off the top of the ground. We're not having played center field all year. As we look at this play again, he made a whale of a catch. He played the shallow center field, too.
So the Mets don't score in the 2nd inning, and it is still 0-0.
The A's have everybody down in their bullpen. The Mets have only 5 or 6 members over in their bullpen. It's interesting to see the contrast in the occupancy of the 2 bullpens today.
What you call a full house. Here's Gene Tennis. Good low fastball, and that is the John Matlack pitch that has been so effective against Oakland so far in the series. Gene Tennis, last year's World Series hero with 4 home runs, takes a breaking ball down and in. It's 1-1.
Fella gets the walks. He's walked 10 times.
Last year he tied a Babe Ruth home run record with a 4 home run. This year he's tied a Babe Ruth walk record. Strike call. In 6 games he had, I believe, got more walks than Babe got, but in a 7-game World Series he still has to get another one or 2.
Back at 26, the Babe walked 11 times for the record.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Gino. Breaking ball again, and it just misses inside. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's really staying inside on the A's batters today, and once in a while he'll move that fastball outside as he did on Bando to strike him out. Looks like he's going outside this time. Brody showed. Missed low with it. Full count on Dennis. He led the A's in bases on balls this year with 101. Call. Gene Tennis must have been looking for something inside again, and Matlack hit the outside corner with the fastball, his second strikeout.
Jerry Grote gets down about as low as any catcher you want to see him giving his target. Especially important with a pitcher like Matlack who likes to throw the ball down low. Right on the corner.
Boy, and you can really see graphically in that shot right there, Tony, how fast that ball is moving. It actually moved the mitt almost off the hand of Jerry Grote. Great impact shot to show that fastball. Here now is Jesus Alou. A's right fielder picked up from Houston late in the season. The third Alou brother to play with the A's in 3 years.
And Monty, by a twist of fate, the right fielder in the 7th game of the World Series for the A's last year, Matty Alou. The right fielder in the 7th game this year, the brother Jesus Alou.
Felipe had played with the A's the year before and got no farther than the playoffs. Right down the right field line from behind the foul screen, you see, with our creepy camera. Popped up off first base. A lot of room for John Milner. And there are 2 down. These 2 pitchers have settled down, and each appears to have very good stuff so far. Here's Darren Johnson, and the only home run he hit in the National League this year in the short time he was with Philadelphia was against John Matlack. He hit 19 for the A's in the American League. He's had 3 hits in the series. 1 a double off the wall in left center. Strike called. It was Darren Johnson who sounded the alarm to the Oakland A's about Matlack. He told the players the day the Mets won that their most outstanding pitcher he felt was Matlack. Little high ball, 1-1. Really interesting to watch the grapevine work. Here's the on-deck batter for Oakland, Dick Green. A's players were not asking any questions about the Mets the last week or 2 of the season, and all of a sudden everybody wanted to know everything. Tough play for Garrett. He short hops it and throws him out. 3 up, 3 down. We've gone through 2 innings at the Coliseum, and it's 0-0. Half of the 3rd inning, Don Hahn, the center fielder for the Mets, against Kenny Holtzman. First pitch is outside, ball 1. Hahn has 4 hits in this World Series and has knocked in 2 runs. Makes his home in Campbell, California, just a little ways from here. Holtzman misses low. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Yogi Berra. He's been in 11 World Series. What do you do with 11 World Series rings anyway? Strike call, 2-1. Dick Williams, this is the 5th he's been in. 3rd as a manager. And he was in 3 as a player. 2. Hahn fouling 1 off.
Holtzman appears to have a good fastball today. His ball is running away from the right-handed hitters, the same as Maddock is for the Mets.
He looks much better than he has his previous 2 starts. About as quick as he was against Baltimore.
He had 1 game this year where he struck out 12 batters. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network. The top of the 3rd inning. No score. Don Hahn, the leadoff man for the Mets, takes the fastball inside. Buddy Harrelson on deck. 3-2. Holtzman needs a strike. Line drive to left, base hit. So the Mets get the first hit of the ball game. And now Bud Harrelson. And you look for these teams to play for the one run early, I think, because with the way these pitchers are going, and with fresh bullpens. But right now with a pitcher coming up next, you look for Harrelson to bunt here or not.
Bando up even with a bag at third base. He's playing close just in case.
There's your answer.
Always interesting about a switch hitter. How does he hit best? Harrelson seems to hit better right-handed. He's hitting .270 this year against lefties and .250 against right-handers.
One strike count on Harrelson. Strike two now. Ken Holtzman of Creve Coeur, Missouri. It's just outside St. Louis. He goes back there for a little while after the World Series every year and then comes back to Walnut Creek, California to live. He wasted that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Incidentally, Yogi Berra played in 14 World Series and 10 winning World Series. He's in one as a coach with the Mets in '69. One previously as a manager with the Yankees. John Matlack waiting to bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Harrelson. Right behind first base, you see Darren Johnson holding against Don Hahn. And Kenny Holtzman. See the same look at Holtzman that Hahn gets. All 3.
This fastball is moving so much when he turns it over, it's moving right out of the strike zone. Some of those pitches appear to be started almost down the center of the plate. When he turns it over, it scoots a foot outside.
Hahn having a little conference over with the first base coach to find out, make sure they have the signs right here.
There was quite a shortstop, Roy McMillan.
3-2 count. Hahn's not going. Ball is fouled off.
4 times he led the National League in fielding percent. He was one of the best, playing shortstop for 16 years. They still talk about his defensive prowess.
From Bonham, Texas. Fly ball to left field. Joe Rudi looking right up into that sunshine, turning away from it now, and he almost lost it. We may have the same trouble today that we had last Sunday before it's all over.
This is quite a battle with that sun for Joe Rudi, and a little bit of wind blowing out to left field, and if he's going to have trouble in his home ballpark, look at him turn sideways now, trying to get an angle away from the sun, playing it off to the side.
Look at the glare in those sunglasses.
Sky above is a very, very bright blue. There's the glare right in the glasses. Now the pitcher Matlack is up with 1 out and a man at first base. Bando charging the plate. Ball is bunted. Foul up the first base line. Matlack realizing, I believe, with that defensive shift the A's had on right then, Bando coming in from third full speed, he's going to have to bunt the ball to the right side.
That ball might have trickled back fair. Ennis very alertly slapping it to see it stay in foul territory.
The A's have another play in what they feel is a sure bunt situation where they'll charge their second baseman Dick Green towards the plate, as well as Bando. Ennis had to hustle. He dropped that ball.
Allowing that second baseman to charge, it means the first baseman can hold a lot longer so that base runner cannot get a good jump, and you have a chance to nail him at second base easier.
Monty, how do you compare Tennis and Fosse defensively behind the plate?
Well, Fosse, I think, is one of the best catchers in the American League, and Gino has caught not that much this year. Dick Williams has tried to catch him once a week or so, but he's not as good a catcher. Double play. Bando charged, picked up the bunt, Johnson for the double play. In the middle of the third inning, the score, the New York Mets nothing, the Oakland A's nothing.
Johnson did a fine job in holding that base runner Don Hahn on that double play to end the inning. Darren did not break too soon, and the play was made before the bunt was laid down as Bando really broke quickly to the plate. Good quick pivot by Campaneris. Here's Sal again. See how he positioned those feet to get rid of it quickly and accurately?
And you notice the second baseman, Dick Green, took the throw. It took two strong throws then, one by Bando, one by Campaneris. They both have strong arms. Here's Dick Green, Oakland's second baseman. Fouls off Matlack's first pitch. Green for the season hit .260 for Oakland. In the World Series this year, 1 hit, 12 at-bats. There is no score. Last half of the third inning. It's turned out to be a beautiful sunshiny day in the Bay. There was the curve. Green was almost persuaded, didn't, and it cost him to take strike 2. Amazing Matlack's ability to keep the ball down with good stuff on it, both breaking ball and fastball. Tried to blow him out inside and missed with it.
Barring arm trouble, how would you like to have his future?
Oh. 23 years old, is it? Greeny fought off the curveball and fouled it down. Dick Green, Ken Holtzman, and Bert Campaneris for the A's. There's Holtzman. Well, after watching the World Series, Kurt, and realizing that the A's pitchers were batting for the first time this year, do you think it's been a factor in the series that there's been no designated hitter?
I don't really think so.
Took a called third strike, a big breaking ball, and Matlack has his third strikeout. Matlack has an incredible string of innings going in which he's not allowed an earned run.
They're checking it here now, Monty. He has now a total of 23, 25 in the third innings without an earned run. And only one earned run the last 42 innings.
Holtzman, who got a base hit his first game he pitched, swings in the first pitch and misses.
It's unbelievable.
It's just short of 5 games without giving up an earned run. Strike 2 call. He's a machine out there. What a beautiful sight you can see from our portable camera from right behind home plate, looking out at the clouds and flags blowing here in this beautiful ballpark in Oakland. Holtzman pulled his double just by that third base bag before, and he got a slow curveball then on a no-ball 2-strike count and almost had another one.
Monty, many of the Mets pitchers give a lot of the credit for their success to their catcher, Jerry Grody. Very rarely do they have to shake off one of his signs. He thinks right along with them. He knows what they want to do, and he sets up behind the plate with it. Gives a great target.
Holtzman, line drive to left field. He's going to have another extra base hit. The first hit of the day for Oakland, a double by the pitcher, Kenny Holtzman.
Ball down in the left field corner. Third base umpire. Russ Getz making the call. Leon Jones playing that corner, which can be tricky quite well. Last time he had a double, he had to slide to second base earlier in that ball game and nearly hurt his knee.
And he's now a 1,000 hitter in this series. 2 doubles and 2 times up.
Well, the designated hitter couldn't have done any better for him than he's done. They're having to take some refuse off the field out in straightaway center. So the groundskeepers are out there holding up the game right now. Kurt Campaneris and Joe Rudy now will both have shots at knocking in Ken Holtzman. There's the commissioner of baseball in his box, and American League President Joe Cronin. And many believe that next Tuesday, Joe Cronin might become the chairman of the board of the American League and resign as president. And the American League might be looking for a new president. Fly ball to right field, hit pretty well, and there she goes. And of all the men to get the first home run for the A's, it's the little guy, Campaneris, who hit 2 homers in the playoffs also. Well, he said before the game, pressure don't bother me. He said, I just love to play. Well, I've seen Campy hit a lot of home runs in his big league career. He hit 22 one year. There's Charlie Finley. Very happy man right now. His son, Charlie Jr., is usually right there with him, but he got called back to LaPorte, Indiana, where his wife, Doreen, is about to have a baby, and he went back there watching in the hospital there today. Campaneris got a hanging curveball. He was going to right field all the way, as so many days hitters have been. Look at Staub. In disgust, hitting the wall. The wind is blowing out that way, too. That helped him. Here's Joe Rudy now. And there's another curveball hung up there. I definitely believe after it's over, Campaneris will just say, I was just trying to get a hit going to right field, but he got under it. There he is. The A's little road runner. Fantastic little player. Talking with Alan Lewis. Again, the curve, and it misses high and away. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. The last home run the A's hit was by Campaneris in the 3rd game of the playoffs with Baltimore in the 11th inning. He comes through again. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. First 2 earned runs given up by Matlack in the World Series. He's thrown Rudy 3 straight curveballs, so throwing the curveball to Campaneris that got hit out didn't scare him off. Here's a line drive left center field. Don Hahn holds him to a single. He threw 1 more curveball, and he hung it again. And Joe Rudy, who must have had an idea of what they wanted, really ripped it. Now the Met bullpen goes to work following a home run, a double, and a single. Here comes Drew Walker now to confer with Matlack. Matlack has been down so well. That's Harry Parker now throwing for the Mets, the right-hander. All of a sudden he came up on him with those breaking balls. He had perfect control of it in the first 2 innings, and that fastball. He was above the waist with a couple, and he's gotten hurt by it. I don't know. Does it seem to you, Kurt and Tony, that he threw a lot more breaking balls today than he threw in the other 2 games of the series? Very definitely. Very definitely. Could that be, Seaver said he threw more yesterday because he was sore and maybe a little tired? I think part of it, Monty, is this Oakland A's team, as of yesterday, began thinking at the plate. Against Seaver, they started going the opposite direction. They're forcing Matlack, as they did yesterday, Seaver, to change his pitching pattern. Harry Parker throws in the bullpen. Matlack ready to pitch the Bando with 1 out. Popped it up on the infield. Milner makes the grab, and there are 2 down. Boy, it's always a big out when you get a big hitter in the middle of a rally. And when he got Sal Bando right there, he got a big out. Here's Reggie Jackson now. Reggie Jackson made that incredible catch out in center field, and I think as well as catching it, what made it great was his ability to hold on to it after he crashed into the ground. He's made 2 or 3 outstanding plays in center field in this series. And he made 1 in the playoffs against Baltimore, just running full speed out into left center field. Yogi Berra with some instructions to somebody. He's moving Garrett off third base, closer to short. Curve blowing away, ball one. The A's are wearing a Kelly green top on their uniform today, and through the regular season, they always wear what they call polar bear whites. This club has 3 uniforms. Today, for some reason, they went to green. Curve at the strike. Maybe it's a hunch. Charlie Finley changed and had them wear their whites in the playoffs against Baltimore, and it wasn't on a Sunday, and they won. So maybe he played the hunch today and took them out of the whites and put them in the green. Amazing how superstitious people are in this game. There's a long drive. Jackson has hit it all, and it is gone. Would you say he's a little fired up?
Matlack got hurt on the breaking ball of Campaneris. Then on Rudy, he's got Jackson another breaking ball that hung up and in. And I guess he's just going to live and die with that breaking ball. It may be all over. I don't know.
That's quite a sight. Reggie Jackson hugging Dick Williams. Earlier in the year, they had words. Jackson blasted his own manager. But as Reggie said, I get impulsive at times. But he's a real man. He's been a great manager for me. Now, ribbons are being thrown out in the field. Here's Yogi coming out.
You know, an odd twist of things, Kurt. It was that argument that Reggie Jackson had where he condemned some of the Oakland coaches and the Oakland manager, which really enticed Charlie Finley to give the coaches and the manager all extended contracts. And now here we are in the World Series, and Dick Williams has said that he is giving up those 2 years and is leaving the A's organization. And here comes Harry Parker in. There's a break in the action here in Oakland to score. The A's 4, the Mets nothing. At the Oakland Coliseum, the 7th game of the World Series, the new Met pitcher is Harry Parker. It's his 3rd game of this World Series. He's given up 2 hits and 1 run, and he was the losing pitcher in a game in New York, the 3rd game. It was that 11-inning, 3-2 game. He's 26 years old, born in Highland, Illinois. Lives now in Collinsville. He faces Gene Tennis and brushes him off the plate a little bit with a high inside fastball. It's 1-0. Reggie Jackson, with those runs batted in, has just moved into the lead in RBIs in this World Series tournament. Tennis fouls it off. You know, Kurt, after the game yesterday, Gene Tennis said, I believe we can win it now because Buck started hitting. That's what the players call Reggie Jackson. They said he always picks us up, and if he starts, it's all over.
He's important in that lineup.
It's a long ways from being all over, but he's given the A's a 4-0 lead. Curve in the dirt, it's 2-2.
They've had an interesting pattern in every one of the 7 games. The home team has scored first.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Tennis. Foul ball. You know, by the time 7 games of a World Series, the other team has looked at one starting pitcher 3 times. And it takes some outstanding pitching and positioning to get by a good team 3 times in a row. Tennis gets a walk. So the A's walking man goes to first base.
And he just tied a World Series record, 11 walks in a 7-game series. He's tied the legendary Babe Ruth, who walked 11 times in the 1926 World Series.
And we're going to have a pinch hitter now. Vic Davalillo will be coming on to bat for Jesus Alou, and I would imagine this would be a defensive move about as much as offensive because the Mets do have basically left-hand relievers, but Dick Williams has put Davalillo in for defensive reasons when the A's have had a lead before, and I would imagine that he's going to let him hit here, and he had planned to put him in for defense anyway. So it's Davalillo for Alou, and that will put Reggie Jackson back in right as Ray Sadecki starts to throw. And when Davalillo goes in, he'll be in center field. Ray Sadecki throws in the Met bullpen. Well, this is clean the bullpen day here. No need to save anybody. Yogi said everybody's available except Tom Seaver. Davalillo 1 for 8 in this World Series. Parker gets a strike on him. There are 2 out and 4 runs in. Campy Campaneris with a 2-run homer. Reggie Jackson with a 2-run homer, and Jackson really clobbered his. It went up into the bleachers. Fouled off. No balls, 2 strikes. He popped it up. Into center, Don Hahn looking for it. Harrelson pointing it out for him. He's got it all the way, and that retires the side. The A's score 4 runs on 4 hits. There's 1 left. And the score after 3 innings, 4-0 Oakland.
Program note, his boyhood years, his family life, and the pressures of his 20-year career in baseball are features of the long winter of Henry Aaron. An NBC News special program tonight at 10 Eastern, 9 Central Time, right here on NBC.
New center fielder for the Oakland A's is Vic Davalillo. And Reggie Jackson has moved over to right where he got a standing ovation. He's still giving his salute out there to the Reggie's Regiment is what that area is called. He has a big legion of fans out there. Wayne Garrett against Kenny Holtzman takes up high for ball 1 as we start the 4th inning. Holtzman has given up only 1 hit, a single to left, and that was to Don Hahn. Strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wayne Garrett, a good leadoff man for the Mets. Strike 2 call. Kenny Holtzman's theory now will be to not give him anything. He'll try his best not to walk anybody and make them earn everything. It takes a lot of hits to beat you if you're not giving them something. Foul off the curve, and Holtzman hung that one up there right in his eyes. Well, it's true they're playing for a lot of money here today, but I think by the time you've played 6 days in the World Series and gotten through the playoffs and get into that 7th game with a great crowd looking on and a nationwide television audience, these guys play for pride about as much as anything else, too, because they're going to get good checks, win or lose. Fly ball to center, and Davalillo is tested right away. He's got it. 1 out in the 4th inning. Last year, the winner of the World Series got $20,705. The losers got $15,080, and the players feel they're going to get more than that this year. There was quite a dramatic jump in the World Series earnings when the playoffs came in from $10,000 to the winner in 1968 to $18,000 to the winners in '69. Here's Beyond. Fly ball to right. Jackson.
Look out, Blue.
Got it. He hit that wall out there, but held on to the ball. Reggie Jackson is really fired up today. He's doing it all.
He's on his way to the most valuable player yesterday and today. He may wrap it up in these 2 days.
He was playing Beyond perfectly, almost on the foul line and shallow, but he still had to run quite a ways in the foul territory and worry about that wall. He's some kind of player. He does everything well.
Here's Rusty Staub. Tell you got to hand it to this guy. What a series he's had with a bum shoulder. Holtzman missed it inside to him for ball 1. On base 11 times. And a 3-run homer against Holtzman in New York. Campaneris can't quite come up with that line drive, and Rusty Staub is on there. Kurt, wouldn't you have to say that his performance here has got to go down as one of the heroic efforts in the World Series?
It really is, and he's just taken the lead for base hits in the series with 10. Here's Tony.
Line drive just out of the grasp of Bert Campaneris, the shortstop. He got a good jump, just couldn't get enough reach on it.
Here's Cleon Jones. His home is Mobile, Alabama, as Rusty Staub looks on from first base. Cleon is from the same hometown as John Odom of the A's ball club, and also Tommy Agee. Curveball down and in. It's in too much. The last team to win 2 World Championships in a row in baseball were the Yankees in 61 and 62. Holtzman missed with a fastball inside. He's 2-0 on Jones now. On deck batter, John Milner. Fourth inning. Fouled off the 2-0 pitch. Is now 2-1.
Kenny now appears to be changing up well off the fastball. That was a straight change. Changing speeds on his curveball. And he's getting the ball down pretty much.
Holtzman last year won 19 games for Oakland in his first year with the A's, and this year he won 21. Really fired that fastball, and he missed outside with it. He's 3-1 now, and a dangerous hitter, Cleon Jones. Aaron Johnson's playing behind Rusty Staub at first base. As you can tell, Rusty's not much threat to go. It's 4-0, and Mets don't run that much anyway. Strike 2. Took a little off that one.
That's what Catfish Hunter did so well yesterday when he got behind the hitters. He made that good pitch when they were really trying to jump on it and try and pull the ball.
3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 down, so Staub will take off. He walked him, and Holtzman now is in a little trouble of his own. The Mets' top home run hitter, John Milner, comes on with 2 on base. That's the first walk Holtzman has given up. And Dick Williams is making a trip across the foul line to talk to Kenny.
We're going to have action also in the A's bullpen. Raleigh Fingers and Darrell Knowles will be ready. Dick Williams will take no chances. The Mets have been behind. Their trademark in September and through October has been battling back, scrapping with you.
John Milner. I would imagine that conference was talking about how to pitch him. They've got to try to keep away from the long ball here now, and of course Milner wants to get it. The right side of the infield shows 2 Met runners. Went after him with a high, hard one and missed with it. Foul ball, just off first base. Holtzman very rarely is going to be hurt in a critical situation with a curveball, so he may just stay strictly with the fastball here.
When that Darren Johnson gets in front of a ball, he has sure hands.
He's done a fine job over there, Kurt. Dick Williams, though he's been our designated hitter all year, Dick has let him play first base at least 1 time a week. In all double headers he played over there, and he would put tennis behind the plate with another reason in mind, to keep tennis sharp for just occasions as today. Fastball again, he missed with it. It's 2-1. The first one he's pitched out away from Milner on. This man has good power. Hot shot toward Dick Green, and he's playing him perfectly. Throws him out. That retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left on to score in the middle of the 4th inning. The A's 4, the Mets nothing.
Next Sunday, an NFL doubleheader on NBC. 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Denver will be at New York. Miami at New England. San Diego at Cleveland. At 2 o'clock, Houston at Chicago. Oakland at Baltimore. The second game of our national doubleheader, Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. NBC next Sunday. Consult the listings in your local area for game and time.
Here's Darren Johnson against Harry Parker as the A's bat in the 4th inning. Good breaking ball, strike call. After the hard fastball, and it's 1, no ball, 2 strikes. Inside, it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dick Green waiting to bat. Strike 3 call. Parker, who had been going outside, busted one on the inside on Johnson for the strikeout. 1 out, 4th inning, and here's Dick Green. Tony, that last play Green made was not all that easy a play. It came off the dirt, and he fielded it right on the edge of the grass. That can sometimes be pretty tough.
You've seen him all year long, and he can be sensational at times. I don't think he covers any less ground than he did since that back surgery.
First pitch of the call, strike to him. Well, I think, and of course you knew from being around a long time, you learn to cheat a little bit once you've been around a while. You know how your pitchers pitch, and you can cover that ground by knowledge that you lack in speed. Parker's throwing strikes out there. It's 0-2. Little looper. And Milner can't quite get to it. You run a long time in this ballpark chasing those things. No balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, 4th inning.
Money, I think the last 2 ball games, and I think Kurt made a very valid comment back in Shea Stadium before the game started last Thursday when he said with all the turmoil, these A's have not been able to concentrate on baseball, get their thoughts together. Yesterday and today, it looks more like a Dick Green ball club. They're thinking up at the plate. They seem to be a little more active, moving around in the outfield on certain pitches. It's more of a Dick Williams type team.
Well, it's going to be interesting to find out why Dick Williams chose that time to announce to his players he was going to quit. Greeny fouls this pitch off. A lot of people speculating that that was not a good time to tell a team right in the middle of a World Series, and there's no question about it that that had something to do with their play. It gave them something else to think about.
They have to wonder, who's the next manager? Who am I going to be playing for? It has to be upsetting to him.
Rather surprising that he would announce it to the players at that time. Green chops one foul off third base.
In New York, the fellow up at the plate right now, Dick Green, told me before one of the ball games that Dick Williams told him over a month ago that he would not be back.
No balls, 2 strikes on Green. 1 out, 4th inning of play. It is 4-0. Oakland leading. Game 7 of the World Series, and I don't think I've ever seen the electricity in the crowd in this ballpark that I've seen from 1 hour before the game today. Wayne Garrett to Milner, and there are 2 down. Now Kent Holtzman comes up, and it was Kenny Holtzman's double that seemed to ignite the A's charge in that 3rd inning. You see a lot of Kelly green and gold around the ballpark in the fans. You know, there are a lot of writers who ridicule the A's colors and their uniforms, but you look all around baseball, there are a lot of colorful uniforms now, and it has become an identifying color throughout the Bay Area for the A's. Pitch is low for ball 1.
Charlie Finley receives a lot of criticism, but he's also put some ideas that are being copied into baseball.
Ooh, Kenny went fishing. 1 ball and 1 strike.
He's also done what some of the owners refuse to do. That's go out and spend some money and buy some players at key times of the year, as he has done with his team the last 2 years.
Pitch is outside, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. A lot of people come and go, but the nucleus stays here. Here's Bert Campaneris. A's players call him Baby Hondo. Fly ball to left field. Watch Harrelson work on this one in the sunshine. He's calling for it. Good play. 3 up, 3 down. We've gone through 4 innings at the Coliseum in Oakland. It's the A's 4 and the Mets nothing.
Quick final football scores, Monty. Baltimore beat the Lions 29-27. Miami 27, Buffalo 6. Cleveland 42, Houston 13. The Redskins 31, the Cardinals 13. Pittsburgh 26, the Jets 14. New England over the Bears 13-10. Minnesota remains undefeated, knocking off the Eagles 28-21. All final scores.
Hit the top half of the 5th inning, and Jerry Grody, who lined out to center field in the 2nd inning, only to be robbed by Reggie Jackson, who made a sparkling catch out there. We'll lead it off to Hahn and Harrelson. Curveball, and it's ripped in the left. Base hit. Holtzman throwing a rare
curveball, and it was on the first pitch of the 5th inning, and Grote got the base hit. Hit number 2 for New York, and the A's bullpen crew starts to work right away. Nose and fingers. Slender guy going out there. The other man is Horacio Pena. The reason he goes out in front of those men is to stop any line drive that might come out that way in foul territory. So that's Horacio at the gate. Don Hahn. Pitch to him is inside, ball 1. Ray Sadecki in the Met bullpen. For a lot of days off after today. That's how he looks from right behind home plate on the third base side, looking down the first base line. Holtzman misses outside. He's missed inside and outside to Hahn. On deck, Bud Harrelson. The A's first baseman Darren Johnson still playing behind the runners at first base. Hahn takes a strike. You can really tell when Holtzman takes something off the fastball just to get it over. He was at 2-0 on Hahn, and he doesn't want to walk him. He just threw that ball over the plate. Strike 2. You know, the old baseball cliche, nothing on the ball except the president's name, the league president's name. They use American or National League baseballs in the World Series. The home park baseball, I suppose.
Right. They all come out of the same bin with different stamps.
5-ball foul out of play. Well, there goes one of them for a souvenir. You can see it's a shirt sleeve crowd here in Oakland. The sunshine is out, and as Kurt said when we signed on at 8 o'clock this morning, we could have gotten big odds there'd be no baseball game in Oakland today. Just exploded over that outside corner.
He really has good movement on that fastball. When he turns it over, starts in the strike zone, and they're really waving at it. It's about a foot outside, really turning it over.
With a runner at first and 1 out, Bud Harrelson, the batter. Once again, looking right down that first base line, you see how far the defensive man is off the kind of a lead the runner gets. Bouncing ball out near second. Campy has to wait on the hop. Underhand toss to Green. No chance at the double play. They had to make sure of getting the lead man there. 2 down. The A's catcher is not behind the plate because he went a long ways at first base.
Harry Parker has been called back to the dugout. Now we're going to have a pinch hitter. Looks like Jim Beecham. Beecham, the right-handed hitter.
Beecham in this series is 0 for 3. It's interesting. I was talking with Kenny Holtzman about him the other day. And it's interesting that Beecham has not hit a home run for the Mets this year, but Holtzman says, don't let that fool you. This man is as strong as anybody if you throw it in his power. He's born in Bonita, Oklahoma, lives in Grove, Oklahoma, 34 years old. He's been around a long time. Attended Oklahoma State University. 16th professional season, beginning in the Cardinal organization in '58. He's played for the Cardinals, Houston, Milwaukee, Braves, Atlanta, Cincinnati, Houston, St. Louis again, and then the Mets. He's got a well-worn suitcase. Jim Beecham, as Sadecki throws in the bullpen, he'll be the new man. There's that big cut.
This is the kind of ball game he pitched in that championship series game against the Baltimore Orioles, right down low on that outside corner.
No balls, 1 strike to count. There's the curve, and it's up high, a ball, 1-1. A lot of the A's players were saying that they felt it was really a good omen for this 7th game that if Holtzman were to pitch it, he got knocked out in the first inning of his last start because it gave him that many more pitches to be strong on. Beecham almost persuaded, took that one high. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. At first base, Buddy Harrelson ready to go. It's odd now that with 2 down, Darren Johnson is holding the runner at first base. strikes. Score, 4-0 Oakland. They got them all in the third inning on 2 home runs, Campaneris and Jackson. Beecham went up high after that Kenny Holtzman fastball and fouled it away. If the A's win here today, there will be a big parade downtown in Oakland starting at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. And if it's anything like last year, there will be some 250,000 people mobbing the streets. Fouled away. If the Mets win, what do you think that parade in New York would be like? Wow.
250,000 on one block.
Yeah. There's Yogi. Two balls, 2 strikes. Gene Tennis asking for this pitch outside. Fouled off.
City of Oakland is criticized for not supporting the A's well enough in the playoffs. It was not a sellout in the opening game of the World Series, but they've made a great comeback here yesterday and today. Full house and the fans on fire.
Kurt, the playoff games were Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons. Got him with a curve. Kenny Holtzman had been throwing Beecham all fastballs through a big curve and caught him looking. No runs, 1 hit, a man left. At the halfway point of the game, it's 4-0 Oakland.
This is the last time we'll bore you with a shot. But if the game's over, Oakland wins. The man here, Monty Moore, will be down in the Oakland clubhouse. If the Mets win, Ralph Kiner will be down. I think you're going downstairs too, aren't you, Tony?
I'm going to go scramble, yeah.
Right.
Get wet.
I'll stay up here and take it easy. We really do want to thank you all for your attention, for your letters, your telegrams, and your interest in the 1973 World Series on behalf of NBC. Thank you.
Now, as we go to this last half of the ball game, it's our pleasure once again to say, Kurt, Tony, it's been fun working with you. After today's game, Tony's got a long, easy winter ahead of him. You just keep rolling right on and working because the name Kurt Gowdy is synonymous with every big sporting event in the country. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Kurt Gowdy.
Thank you, Monty, and don't go away. Last of the 5th inning, Campaneris has grounded to short and hit a home run. Ray Sadecki's the new pitcher, and Campaneris has a strike on him. Ray Sadecki, 32 years old. Born, lives Kansas City, Kansas. His 4th game of the series. 1 ball, 1 strike. He saved the 4th game for the Mets, the 6-1 game, pitched a scoreless 9th inning. There's a base hit by Campaneris. Cleon Jones over, lets the ball get away. Campaneris coming into second. Holds at second base. Jones is down on the grass.
Jones lost his footing just as he approached the ball, and I don't know if he sprained his ankle, stepped in a chuck hole, a piece of turf gave way, but he's still down in left center field.
He appears to have injured his ankle as he slipped. Might be a little bit slippery from the morning rain out there.
Cleon knew he had to hurry as Campaneris did not look like he was going to let up at all. He was going to force Jones into making a throw at second base. See if he can pick up exactly what happens to Cleon Jones. He tries to plant his foot. There he is. There's the slip that may have turned that right ankle over. Hahn had to come over from center field, make the play. Joe Deere, the trainer, along with Yogi Berra, some of the others out there.
The Mets nagged with injuries all year. A true hard luck team until the latter part of August. Finally got their club healthy and roared in to take the National League pennant. Then Rusty Staub injured for the World Series, although he's been a heroic figure playing with a bad shoulder. And now Cleon Jones hurt in the final game. For those that joined us late, the score is 4-0 in favor of Oakland, and their runs came in the 3rd with 1 out. The pitcher Ken Holtzman doubled to left. Bert Campaneris hit a home run over the right field fence to make it 2-0. That was the first Oakland home run of the series. And Campaneris had also hit a home run in the third game of the playoffs to win 2-1 against Baltimore. So the drought had been on for the long ball for the A's, and Campaneris broke the drought. Then Joe Rudi singled after Bando popped up. Reggie Jackson rode a tremendous drive up in the right center field bleachers for a home run, and that's the scoring 4-0. Ken Holtzman in 5 innings has pretty well checked the Mets. It's Don Hahn, number 25, standing over him. Yogi Berra, the manager, number 8, worried about his star left fielder, of course. Yogi had an unusual day yesterday. His team lost. It wasn't a total loss for Yogi. His son, Timmy, and get this, ran a kickback 100 yards and didn't score for the University of Massachusetts. He took it 2 yards in the end zone and ran to the 2-yard line of the opponents. Timmy Berra caught 9 passes and scored 2 touchdowns. He's a pro football prospect. Cleon Jones evidently is all right.
Because this is a serious blow if he can't swing properly or run properly, because of the 4 threats for the Mets who can get you back in the ball game with that one swing. He's the only right-handed hitter, and with Holtzman out there, Garrett, Staub, and Milner, of course, are nullified somewhat from the left side.
Rusty Staub all the way over from right field, anxious about his teammate. Jones stays in. That was a single for Bert Campaneris. An error has been charged to Cleon Jones. So we've had our first error of this game. There's Campaneris a second. Now, watch him. He might try to steal third. He likes to do it with a left-hander on the mound. If the A's win, the most valuable player usually goes to the winning team. Who would be the most valuable player? Probably be between Campaneris and Jackson.
It would not be an easy choice. Campy's been very, very solid in every ball game. Reggie's had 2 big games.
Joe Rudi, the batter, has been on twice. He's walked and he's singled. More action is going to spring up in the Met bullpen. They're shortened up at first and third in case of the bunt. There's a base hit up the middle. Campaneris will come in to score, and the A's lead 5-0. This is the aggressive A's team that won the American League Championship 2 years in a row. They're swinging the bats yesterday and today.
It's been amazing how the Met pitchers have been able to hold them down, and I think the most amazing part of all, Kurt, is that the left-handers have done it, because Oakland has been a basic right-handed hitting lineup, and today they're finally breaking loose.
They were out-hustled by the Mets up until yesterday. A strike. The Mets just look crisper in the field, more aggressive at the plate. George Stone now warming up in the Met bullpen. The A's have bounced back in these final 2 days. They have a 5-0 lead, a fly ball to right. Rusty Staub going back, nearly over his head, playing it halfway with Rudi returning to first.
Rusty going back near the warning track. The ball is very hard and one of the most difficult plays for an outfielder. Once you turn the wrong way, you're in trouble, but he played it perfectly.
And here is Reggie Jackson getting an ovation. Jackson had hit no home runs in his previous 14 games. He had a hamstring pull, then he came down with a virus. He didn't play much the last 2 weeks of September. He perhaps got out of the groove. He's a big swinger, and when those big power swingers get out of the groove, they can look bad at the plate. But he's grounded out. He's hit a 2-run homer today. He had 3 hits yesterday. The curve strike to him. They report from the Met trainer, Cleon Jones, a slight sprain of his right ankle. 5-0, Oakland, batting in the last of the 5th. 1 out, Joe Rudi at first. A high pop foul at Wayne Garrett. He's settling under. There are 2 down. Buzz Capra now, a right-hander, has joined George Stone in the Met bullpen. Gene Tennis has struck out a walk. He hasn't been hitting, but as our little note tells you, he's been the walking man. Been on base 11 times with walks. 2 down. Curve is over for a strike. 5 runs, 6 hits for the A's. No runs, 3 hits for the Mets. The outfield deep and toward left. Ground ball, foul. Good stab by Wayne Garrett. A 2-strike count to Gene Tennis. Vic Davalillo due up next. Ray Sadecki used to pitch across the bay with the San Francisco Giants. High fly, shallow center. Harrelson going out, calling for it. He's all over this park. 1 run, 2 hits. There was an error, 1 left at the end of 5. It's 5-0 Oakland. We pause now for station identification. NBC Sports is bringing you the World Series. They'll continue the coverage of outstanding sporting events throughout the year. We'll run down the list for you later. Right now, it's Wayne Garrett leading off in the 6th inning for New York. The Mets are down by 5. Garrett has struck out, flied out, and Holtzman is inside with the ball. This is the top of the Met batting order. Garrett, Meehan, and Staub. Foul back, 1-1. Through the first 5 innings, Ken Holtzman has allowed 3 hits, no runs. He has walked 1 and he has struck out 3. Wonder who his barber is.
Or was, about last June.
A smash foul down the right field line. A ball and 2 strikes to Wayne Garrett.
Reggie Jackson put that foul ball into the stands. Maybe nobody saw it, and it won't cost him any money.
Usually a player could get fined for that.
Saw a story, Pete Rose got fined a total of, what, $300 or $400 this year tossing in the crowd.
The 1-2 pitch. Just outside with a curveball. 2-2. Struck him out with a fastball. Strikeout number 4 for Ken Holtzman. And now he's pitched in the National League, the American League. Has pitched 2 no-hitters in his career. This year, for the first time, became a 20-game winner. Just missed the mark last year with 19 victories. The A's gave up Rick Mundy to the Cubs for Holtzman. A trade that I think has helped both teams. Ball 1. Mundy hit a lot of home runs this year for the Cubs. 1 ball, no strikes. Meehan looks at a strike, 1-1. Meehan is grounded to short and then lined out to Reggie Jackson. Foul ground in right field. There's a drive that is going to sink into left center for a base hit. That ball rolling all the way to the fence. Extra bases for Meehan, and he stops at second with a double. First extra base hit in the game for the Mets.
Now very quickly, the Oakland A's bullpen goes to work again. Fingers, nose.
And Rusty Staub, the batter, with a lame shoulder, has led all the batters in base hits. He has 10. Jones has 8. Milner has 8 for the Mets. Ball 1. Joe Rudy has 8. And Reggie Jackson has 9 for the A's. 1 ball, no strikes. And he has a base hit into right center. This will score a run all the way to the wall. Rusty Staub going into second. And the Mets are on the scoreboard now. Staub doubles in Mian. Rusty Staub's 6th run batted in. That ties him with Jackson for the most RBIs.
I guess the thing you've got to remember and keep reminding yourselves about these Mets is that they battle adversity all year long. When you come from behind August 30th in last place and get into a World Series, a 5-run deficit seems like nothing, and there's Williams.
And he wants his right-hander Fingers. He's decided that's enough for Holtzman. Raleigh Fingers will come on. We have a break in the action here at Oakland with a score. Oakland 5, New York 1. This is that lineup on NBC Sports we were talking about. Very impressive. American Football Conference, Game of the Week, playoffs, the championship game, the Pro Bowl game from Kansas City, the Orange Bowl out of Miami, the Rose Bowl from Pasadena, the Senior Bowl of Mobile, National Hockey League, including the Stanley Cup, World Championship Tennis, golf, the Dean Martin, Bob Hope, the Heritage Golf Classic, and the NCAA Basketball Championships in March. The World Series of College Basketball, live and all on NBC. Raleigh Fingers, his 12th relief appearance in lifetime World Series. That's only 2 World Series for him. That ties Clem Levine's World Series record of relieving in 12 games. Staub's on second, 1 out. The batter's Cleon Jones. Breaking pitch is away for a ball. And we have had now, for the 2nd year in a row, in 2 7-game series, no complete games pitched. The strike. Only once previously has that happened. That was in the '59 series between the Dodgers and the White Sox. It shows you how important the modern bullpen pitchers become. There's Jones hitting a high fly to deep right. Backing up is Jackson. Staub is tagging and coming on to third. 2 down. The modern relief specialist has become a dominant figure in baseball. In the old days, it was an insult to be put out in the bullpen. Now they're highly paid, and you can't win without them.
You talk about night baseball, travel across the country, poor eating and sleeping habits, but the single most factor, I believe, in batting averages going down is that relief specialist. They train them now in the minor leagues.
Usually have a right-hander, a left-hander for the 8th and 9th innings, a long man. They're very specialized, and they're good. Milner. Ball 1 to him. Milner's popped up, grounded out. Stops at third. The Mets have scored a run. The A's are leading 5-1 in the 6th inning. Playing Miller toward right. A ball. It's 2-0. Bando decides he better talk to Fingers.
Heard last year the A's bullpen, of course, was a factor in the World Series. They had Vida Blue out there last year, and during the winter, it might be overlooked fact, but the A's went out and picked up 2 more great relievers in this league, Paul Lindblad and Horacio Pena, both of whom had been around a long time, so we have 4 now.
2-0 pitch. Strike. 2-1 to Milner. A hard ground ball hit down to Darren Johnson. The side's out. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left, 5.5 gone, 5-1 Oakland. Last of the 6th inning, the breeze 10 to 15 miles an hour. It's the batter's breeze. Sometimes it's home plate to left. Then it will change and home plate to right. The balls hit up in the air today are being given a boost. Ray Sadecki will face Davalillo, Johnson, and Green. Davalillo flied out in his first time up and he replaced Jesus Alou. Sadecki curves him for a strike. Sadecki pitched the 5th inning, gave up a run, 2 hits. There's a little pop out in the right field. Staub comes in, puts it away. He always grabs the ball one-handed. Johnson is grounded out, struck out. They changed the lineup yesterday and inserted him in there. Been a winning combination. This may be his last at bat in this game. Strike. We saw Ray Fosse warming his throwing arm up in the Oakland bullpen. It may mean that Fosse will come in to catch in the 7th, and Gene Tenace would move to first base. The 1-strike pitch. A ball and a strike to Darren Johnson, who's had a lot to do with the A's repeating as American League champs, coming through as a designated hitter. Right. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Darren Johnson. Reggie Jackson.
Fosse doing some stretching exercises, getting those legs and shoulders loose.
He'll be in. Foul away. 1 ball, 2 strike count to Darren Johnson. The on-deck batter, Dick Green. They won't be taking him out for any pinch hitter. They need him for defense. Sadecki misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fastball is up. 3-2. Dick Williams will have a press conference after the game. Strike 3 on a curve. The conjecture is he's already resigned. Charlie Finley has said he wouldn't stop him from leaving. Williams has 2 more years in his contract. He's been given 4 raises in the last 2 years by his owner. But he's leaving. Where's he going? The conjecture is he'll wind up at Shea Stadium next year managing the New York Mets. That's the speculation. Yankees. What'd I say? Mets. I'm not trying to fire Yogi.
There was further speculation before the ball game that he might end up at Pittsburgh.
The 1-0 pitch. Ball 2. They're all rumors. Nothing official. Little Campaneris on deck.
Giving the pitcher a little rest.
Pitcher's supposed to be out there on deck. Sadecki throws a curve over. 2 balls and a strike. Strike 2. Ted Williams' name was around the ballpark today, and in the San Francisco papers there's a possible manager here. He and Charlie Finley would be a combo together. 2-2. Foul ball. Dave Bristol's name has been thrown into the hopper.
Heard I found in being around a couple of World Series the last 2 years, there are some 900 writers from all over the world cover these things, and they start a lot of these rumors.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Bounding ball to shortstop. But Harrelson making the play, and Oakland's gone in the 6th. At the end of 6 innings, Oakland 5 and New York 1. A program note from NBC: a dying police officer with nothing to lose starts taking chances with his life in the 10-year honeymoon. Tuesday night's dramatic police story at 10 Eastern, 9 Central Time, right here on NBC. Ray Fosse, number 10, is now behind the plate, and Gene Tenace has gone to first base, replacing Darren Johnson. In the 7th inning, Jerry Grote, Don Hahn, Bud Harrelson facing Rollie Fingers. Grote is lined to center and single to left. And there's a wicked smash right at Joe Rudi. Rudi's hit the ball hard every time today. Rollie Fingers has a penchant when he's ahead by a good margin of letting up a little bit. And Sal Bando usually has to stay on him. Fingers is better when he has a 1-run lead, or it's a tight when he is when he has a 3 or 4 run lead. Now we'll have to watch him here. 1 out, nobody on. Don Hahn has singled and struck out. Fouled away. I mentioned all the rumors going around. You're going to be reading about them. They've already been put on the wire services just before game time. And the reason I said Dick Williams might be managing in Shea Stadium is because the New York Yankees move and will play their home games at Shea Stadium next year because of the refurbishing of Yankee Stadium. Foul ball. No balls and 2 strikes to Don Hahn. 1 out for the Mets. Base is empty. They're behind 5-1. One and 2.
Sure, our creepy cameraman must really be way up in the 3rd deck somewhere with that last shot he got. A very dramatic shot of this ballpark from how it must look up in that 3rd deck in the top seat.
Well, I want to talk a minute about that. Outside. Yeah, we just sit up here. Here he is. But it's the men behind the cameras, the audio men who really bring it to you, who make it enjoyable to you. We want to thank our West Coast camera crew and audio people for following right up along with the East Coast boys, New York and from Burbank, for the job they've done. They don't get a lot of credits on the screen, but we know the real professionals they are. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You ever try and follow the flat of the ball with a big camera? It's difficult. There's a line shot to right. It's a base hit by Don Hahn. And each Met has hit the ball hard here in the 7th. But Grote lined out. The Mets have 6 hits. The A's have 6 hits. But the A's have had the home run bats going today. Bud Harrelson, switch hitting. Slide to left, hit into a force play. George Stone is loosening his arm up again in the Met bullpen, which means they'll probably pinch hit for Sadecki, who's due up next. George Stone. Bud Harrelson played to the opposite field. Fastball for a strike. Harrelson didn't like the call.
But he thought it was up and in. That Raleigh Fingers fastball, when he throws it right at left-handed hitters, tails back over the plate. Looks like that's what that one did.
Sal Bando shortening up at 3rd. 1 strike to Harrelson. Fly ball left center. Over there is Davalillo. He has it. 2 down. Look out. Hey. I think he had trouble with his sunglasses. He flipped them down. Maybe they got caught, and he had lost his vision, and he's shaking his head about it.
Fortunately, the sun is now behind the clouds, so it wasn't that bothersome. We've got a pinch hitter now, Kurt, and Monty looks like Ken Boswell.
He had a pinch hit yesterday, Boswell. 2 down. Boswell will bat for Sadecki. That leaves the Mets with 2 left-handed pinch hitters, Kranepool and Hodges. Dick Williams marking his lineup card. Very, very important for a manager if he looks ahead. Most good managers sometimes are not only 2 or 3 innings ahead, they can be a day ahead. Boswell has 2 pinch hits in this World Series and 2 times up. And he has a chance to tie a record. The record in the World Series for pinch hits is 3. Kenny Boswell. 5-1 in favor of Oakland. New York batting in the 7th. Here's a parachute, a homemade parachute that may drop on the diamond. And is drawing oohs and ahs from the crowd. It's sinking. Ball 1 and is made. Where's it going? Coming down, the crowd roars. What a drop.
Got a tennis ball on it or something.
Shot for that little man about ready to get out of there.
Yeah. UFO coming down here to see what's going on. It's a crazy world.
1 ball, no strikes. Don Hahn at first base. A drive into center field. Boswell has just tied a World Series record, coming up with his 3rd pinch hit. And the Mets have runners on first and second as they continue to scrap. Top of the order, and Wayne Garrett, who has the threat of a long ball, as Darrell Knowles now warms up in the A's bullpen. Very quickly, he's throwing as quickly as he can out there.
Here comes Wes Stock now to give Knowles a little bit of a chance to get loosened up, talk the fingers.
What you mentioned, Kurt, I think is a trait of a lot of pitchers. When they have a 4-run lead, they just concentrate on getting the ball over the plate. And Raleigh has done this time and time again when he comes in for big leads. He doesn't really come in this often with a 4-run lead this early in a game. And you can tell he's just trying to get the ball over. And then all of a sudden, when you really want it, it might not be there.
Garrett has gone hitless. He struck out, flied out, struck out. He leads the World Series in home runs, though, with 2. He had 16 during the regular season. And he was the Mets' hot batter in September. A ball to him.
And what room?
Deep with George Wright.
What
the
room?
infield around.
Left field line is wide open.
Anything by Bando would be a double or triple in that left field corner. 1 ball, 1 strike to Wayne Garrett. Don Hahn is coming back to second. He'll turn his back to you. At first base, Ken Boswell. That's Hahn, number 25. Foul ball at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Those other men who've had 3 pinch hits in a series, Bobby Brown, now a physician in Texas. Remember Jim Dusty Rhodes, Carl Wardwicz, and Gonzalo Marquez. Marquez had his pinch hit last year. Slow bounder, foul. One ball, 2 strikes to Wayne Garrett. Dusty Rhodes. What a character he was. They used to have to wake him up, Grosher, and send him up to the plate in that series when the Giants swept the Indians' great pitching staff 4 in a row. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runners on first and second, 2 out. 5-1 Oakland. Lashes it foul.
Guy's really got a tough out in this World Series.
Raleigh Fingers the other day had a good fastball in New York, and he threw it quite a bit when he got 2 strikes on the hitter. He comes more over the top, especially the left-handers, and he can overpower you if you're looking for that sinker or slider.
Again, our situation, 2 down, runners on first and second. High and inside. Ball 2, strike 2. To Wayne Garrett, the leadoff man in the Met batting order. Three and 2. Now the runners will start with 2 down. Fingers will work out of the stretch. The runner starting, an extra base hit could score them both.
Might force Raleigh to throw strictly the fastball here, too. It better be a good one.
There they go. Victory, got it. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. The 7th inning stretch in Oakland. And there's the score, 5-1 A's.
last pitch, 3-2 count. The runners are moving. Maybe the key pitch of the ball game for the Oakland A's and Rollie Finger. Garrett just froze, almost right down the middle. He argued, but he doesn't appear to have an argument on our replay. Good pitch.
Rollie Fingers will go against George Stone now in the last of the 7th. Then to the top of the order, Campaneris and Rudy. 4 runs for the A's in the 3rd. With 1 out, Holtzman doubled. Campaneris hit a home run. Joe Rudy singled. After Bando popped up, Reggie Jackson hit a home run. That's Campaneris on deck. The A's had another run in the 5th. Joe Rudy singled home Campaneris. The Mets scored their run in the 6th on a double by Rusty Staub. 5-1. That's the way the scoring's gone. Rollie Fingers. Strike 1 to him. George Stone, the 2nd appearance of the series. 1 scoreless inning in the 2nd game. Did a fine job for the Mets this year. It was 12 wins and 3 losses. That spot pitcher that pitches number 4 or 5 for you is very important, coming through with a winning percentage. Casey Stengel just walking out. There's a blooper in the right, and it's a base hit. These A's pitchers are hitting. Holtzman has a double today, and Fingers has a single.
Kurt, one of the things that Dick Williams said.
Rusty makes a nice try. He was playing right on the line in kind of shadow. Had to try and go over to right center field. Here comes Hanover to try and get the ball, but he couldn't get over there either. Tom makes a valiant diving attempt. He was lucky to stop that ball to prevent it from going by him.
I want to tell you, this Rusty Staub is showing me something in this series. Campaneris dumps it to Beauty. Miller. What happened? Miller throws with the ball, couldn't get it out of his net. Everybody's safe. Miller could not dig the ball out of his glove.
Miller glanced over to second base to see if he had a shot at Fingers, but Fingers got a good jump. And then with that big first baseman glove, apparently got caught in the living. He couldn't get it out. Beyond was there.
It has been scored a base hit for Campaneris. A freak hit through. That's his 3rd hit of the game. And now it's Joe Rudy up. And the Mets are looking for the bunt. Well, the A's ahead 5-1. Rudy dumps it foul. Rudy has been on each time. He's walked, singled twice. He had a scintillating series last year. He's had 9 hits in this series. He's made the best play in this series. Warming up is Koosman. And Joe Rudy again turning in a stellar all-around performance in baseball's biggest pressure cooker, the World Series. Rollie Fingers to the 2nd. Campaneris at 1st. Nobody out. Last half the 7th.
Unlike the A's, the Mets usually make this play straight. They don't usually do anything too tricky.
Foul back, strike 2. Now let's see how they have him playing.
Who, me worry? Not Yogi. He's been through this before at World Series time and all season long.
Two strikes to Rudy. They're still in shallow at 1st, halfway at 3rd. And he hits the foul ball. Now 3 of the A's players, as Fingers goes back to 2nd. Campaneris to 1st. 3 of the A's players now are tied for the lead in base hits. Campaneris has 9 hits, Rudy has 9, and Jackson has 9. Rusty Staub is the series leader with 11. 2 strikes. 1-2 to Joe Rudy.
Tells what kind of player he's been all this year in his career. He's a clutch performer.
1 out, runners on first and second. A little bit inside to Vandal. The A's are ahead 5-1.
Nibble away, get you to swing at some back pitches low.
Curved him, and it is 1 ball, 2 strikes to Sal Bando. Dick Williams says, come on. His last game, undoubtedly, as manager of the A's. He'd like to wrap it up in glory. Another curve. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Strike 3 to Bando. He's out of there. 2 down. Here's Jackson.
He gets out of this. He's done a whale of a job. After Milner hurt him a little bit by not getting at least 1 runner on the Campaneris bunt.
You know, Reggie Jackson actually went to Arizona State on a football scholarship. He didn't go there to play baseball, and he said he went out for the baseball team on a $5 bet. One of his roommates in the dormitory bet him $5 he couldn't make the baseball team, so he went out. And here he is in his 7th game of the series with a home run today, 3 hits yesterday. He's knocked in the strike.
Parlayed that $5 into a pretty good amount of money, Kurt.
I got a kick out of Jackson when Tony interviewed him yesterday. He said, I think Catfish ought to get $100,000. He's already become Catfish's agent. They're waiting to get that ribbon in. And Hunter said, well, I'd like to, but I got to beat Jackson to Finley before I can get it. He says, he'll be there first.
Be a bunch of guys storming that door this year. Everybody on this team had a pretty good year.
1 strike to Reggie Jackson. 1 ball, 1 strike.
3 20-game winning pitchers. Bando knocks in 98 runs. Campaneris has one of his good years.
Now Jackson is the man out in front, undoubtedly, for the most valuable player in the American League. Fastball, he checked the swing. 2-1. He led in homers, he led in RBIs. On deck is Gene Tennis. Right? 2-2. Jackson's only 27. I say only. Some of these A's, Bando, Tennis, Jackson, are just getting in to their prime baseball age, which is usually from about 27 to 32. 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. George Stone struck out the side. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. At the end of 7, Oakland 5, New York 1. We pause now for station identification.
Henry Fonda, Joanne Woodward, and Jason Robart star in A Big Hand for the Little Lady tomorrow night on NBC.
radio colleagues at NBC, Ralph Kiner, Jim Simpson, and our producer, Hal Ashby. Broadcast being sent around the world and also on Armed Forces Radio. All right, the Mets in the 8th inning with Felix Mion up. It doubled in 3 times. Raleigh Fingers has a strikeout. It'll be Mion, Staub, and Jones for the Mets. One ball, 1 strike. The Mets picked up a run in the 6th. They left 2 on in the 7th. They've been threatening, but they haven't been able to crack through. Ken Holtzman pitched the first 5 in the 3rd inning. One ball, 1 strike. Rusty Staub will be up next. Grounder hit to short. Campanera fires.
Try to vote. Here's my most valuable player in this World Series contest. Should this A's lead hold up? He got the big hit today. He's played solid defensive baseball. He got him on the right track with a 2-run homer earlier.
Rusty Staub is fly to center. Single to left center, double to right center to knock in the lone run for the Mets today. 11 hits in the series. He's 2 away from the all-time series record of 13. Owned jointly by Bobby Richardson and by Lou Brock. Brock also holds the World Series record for stolen bases, 7. Twice he did it against the Red Sox and the Tigers. Ball 1 to Staub. Staub hit 3 homers in the playoffs. And kept going. 1 ball, 1 strike. We've had good umpiring in this series. We've had a few squawks on called 3rd strikes in this game. But for the most part, the umpiring is excellent. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Raleigh now appears to be in the groove. Marty Springstead, the home plate umpire.
1 away, the base is empty. Ground ball to second. Dick Green. 2 down. Fly to deep center, walked, and fly to right. New York Mets in last place in July, last place in August. Have had a storied comeback and a team that really captured the imagination of America. The way they hung in through injuries and came back to win. Right? They were underdogs against the Reds, big underdogs, and beat them. They were underdogs against Oakland. They're in the 7th game now, but they have only 4 outs left in this game.
Strike 2. Boys, we got it now. Fred, you were talking about the Mets capturing the attention of this country this year. I think baseball has done the same thing all year long with over 30 million people going through the turnstiles this year in Major League ballparks.
2 down, nobody on. On deck, John Milner. 5-1 Oakland. A ball. 1-2. Leon Jones. Yogi hasn't changed much expression during this series. Dick Williams has been all business in that dugout.
Definitely chews that gum.
2-2 count.
Got pretty good control now. Fosse's setting up outside for the breaking ball, and he's hitting the target. They're trying to get Jones to go after the bat. Let's see if he zips him inside now.
3-2 on Cleon Jones.
Cleon not able to put much weight on that ankle. You see a tape job on the right ankle. They did hurriedly out in the outfield.
2 out, nobody on. 3-2 pitch. Fouled away. It's not easy to win back-to-back world championships. The last time it was done, the Yankees of 61 and 62. There's that right ankle. Program note, Norman Fell discovers that his nephew and his competitor's son has each made the same disappointing professional choice. He learns that business problems are sometimes only relative when he stars with Louis Nye and Deirdre Linehan on Needles and Pins. Next Friday at 9 o'clock, 8 Central Time, right here on NBC. And these A's fans are on Needles and Pins. I wonder if they're going to be celebrating a world championship. Gene Tennis facing George Stone in the last of the 8th inning. Tennis has struck out, walked, and popped up. A strike to him. Reggie Jackson in that A's dugout. Ball 1 strike when NBC will be back next year with our regular Saturday game of the week. Our 15 special Monday night baseball telecast. There's a high drive in the left field. Plenty of room for Jones. He has it. 1 out. We'll have the All-Star game again. Playoffs in the World Series. NBC, your Major League Baseball network. 1 down. In the last of the 8th inning, Vic Davalillo is 0 for 2. Well, you Met fans looking ahead to the 9th, Milner, Grote, and Hahn will represent the last hopes for New York. Ball 1. To Davalillo. He sends a ground ball to second base, and Leon scoops and throws, and they're 2 down. Ray Fosse up for his first time. On with 2 away. And Dick Green will be the batter. Green has gone hitless 3 times. 9 hits for the A's, 7 hits for the Mets. 5-1 Oakland. The A's have 2 out and a runner on first. The fastball by him, 0-1. Campaneris is on deck. Fingers is due up next. One ball, 1 strike. Campaneris may not get another time at bat. We'll see. And the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes to Dick Green. first. We're going to the ninth inning, ladies and gentlemen, with a score. Oakland 5 and New York 1. Yeah, I hope you'll all visit the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. You'll enjoy the new exhibit room devoted to baseball today. The Hall of Fame is open every day of the year except Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. All right, the Mets have their last shot in the ninth inning. John Milner, Gary Grote, and Don Hahn. There's a strike to Milner. Raleigh Fingers has worked 2 2/3 innings, 2 hits, shutout relief to replace Ken Holtzman. 1 ball, 1 strike. We're talking about the umpires working at first base today, and working his last game is Augie Donatelli. There he is, 24 years of Major League umpire. 2-1. Augie, we wish you well. We congratulate you for your 24 years of service to baseball. 2 balls and a strike. Milner fouls it back. Milner slide to deep center, walked, slide out, and struck out. Two managers, contrasting thoughts right now. One with his fingers crossed, the other with hope. Foul. 2-2. We want to thank Bowie Kuhn, the Commissioner of Baseball, Johnny Johnson, Administrative Officer, Joe Reichler, Director of Public Relations, Tom Dawson, the Director of TV and Radio, Joe Cronin, Bob Holbrook, Tom Monahan of the American League, Charlie Feeney, Britt Flagg, Dave Grote of the National League for all their assistance.
Now Milner steps out.
3-2.
An object of some kind got loose on the field behind home plate. 3-2. Milner waits, fingers throws, again a foul. Sharply hit past first base, where Tennis is guarding that line. Jackson comes over, let's see if he throws this one into the stands. He runs back, he throws it into the stands, and they drop it out. So now he's got to retrieve it down on the warning track and flip it up again. That's 3 that Reggie has thrown into the stands, and we make a point of it because technically not supposed to do that. That brings a fine. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Back again with the fastball. Fouled upstairs behind us. Still 3-2. We are in the 9th inning in Oakland, California, in the 7th game of the World Series. And the A's lead it 5-1. Fingers. Throws him the fastball again, foul. Past Tennis at first base. That's 3 straight pitches that Milner's been out in front of and has ripped past the first baseman. Jackson has another one. And Harry Wendelstedt, the umpire, saying a few words to him out there. Reggie's having fun now, chasing down foul balls and throwing them in the seats. He could be the series' most valuable player. Pitch is inside, and look out, the Mets are alive as Milner draws the walk. That's one thing a relief pitcher is not supposed to do, and so Russ Stock comes racing out. Don't put men on base. Don Hahn comes out into the on-deck circle. Grote is waiting in the batter's box. 5-1 the score. So people are beginning to move around now. Darrell Knowles is getting up. Down on the bullpen. Fosse comes back. Eddie Yost yelled something across to Roy McMillan, yelling from third to first base. Infield, in at the corners, looking for the double play, and playing Grote slightly around to the right. He is 1 for 3. He's hit the ball hard every time. Pitch low, ball 1. Jackson made a diving catch on him in the second. He singled to left in the fifth, and he lined to Rudy and left in the seventh. He has been pulling the baseball, hitting it hard, but he's 1 for 3. He has 8 hits in the series. This pitch, breaking ball, catches the outside corner. In the bullpen right now, the right-hander is James Catfish Hunter, the winner of yesterday's important game that evened the series at 3 games apiece. Hunter is up and throwing. Dick Williams making sure they nail us down here in the 9th inning. Fastball has popped up, foul behind home plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Milner practically standing on the bag at first base. Doesn't want to get picked off. No way is he going to be stealing. They're down by 4. Hahn out on deck. Fingers throws a breaking pitch, but it's blown away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fosse again walks out and now fires the ball back to him, telling him, get the ball over the plate. Don't lose this man. 5-1, Oakland, 9th inning. Fingers looks over, throws the ball, punched out toward left field. On comes Rudy, and he's there. Takes the line drive, and retreating to first base is Milner. There's 1 out as Rudy throws all the way to tennis at first base. Brody has 1 for 4 in the day, and he's hit some kind of shots every time he's been up. 1 out in the 9th, and Hahn is up, and Harrelson comes out on deck. Sal Bando walks over to talk to Ray Fosse. And Raleigh Fingers. Fosse now tells everybody there's 1 out. Bando's still talking. Talking to Green. What's going to happen as he trots back, signaling over to first where they're going to play. Now Green yells back to Bando, and now Green backs up. He was coming in close to the grass, but now backs up to normal double play depth. Fastball, foul of the screen by Hahn. Hahn today is 2 for 3. He struck out swinging at a Holtzman fastball in the 5th, but other than that, he has had base hits. Hunter and Knowles continue to throw. On close stance. Gets a sidearm curveball strike. Fingers drop down and bent across a beautiful curveball for strike 2. And now a streamer goes into the Oakland bullpen and wraps itself around Catfish Hunter. Darrell Knowles helps him get it off. Long streamer of paper. There's streamers out in right center field. Fingers throws, fastball, it's too high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This crowd wants it over. So do the A's. Fastball outside. Hahn almost chased it. It's 2-2. He struck out at just that same kind of outside fastball in the 5th inning. Hahn can run pretty well. Milner fairly well. Ball punched to right field. Base hit. Milner will stop at second base. Hahn gets his 3rd hit of the day. And now Harrelson will come up. And someone will have to swing lest there be a double play for the pitcher. Harrelson walks up in this 5-1 ball game. 2 men are on. Harrelson, by no stretch of the imagination, is known as a long ball hitter. The A's fans getting a little restive now. Out on deck is Ed Krahenpool. Yogi Berra not going with sentiment, but going with power and the left-hander against the right-hander. That could change depending on if Dick Williams makes a change. Fingers throws. Helson tries to bunt his way on. Over his fingers to pick it up. He throws on to first base. Got him as the runners move up. Helson bunting for the base hit was thrown out on the fine play by Fingers. And now they're on out away. And Ed Kranepool, the last of the original Mets, signed out of high school in New York at the age of 17 to join that first team, will be the man coming up. The umpire down the left field line retrieved some streamers that were thrown from the stands there. 5-1 our score. Over at third base is Milner. Down at second base is Hahn. Bando and Fosse and Fingers have had something to say to each other. Now Kranepool is coming up. It has been up twice before in this World Series, has failed to hit. The organist begins to play music. The A's fans sense that this might be it. It is Hunter that is throwing most and the hardest in the bullpen. And now Vic Davalillo is picking up that streamer that's been rusting out in right center field for some time. Didn't really notice it because Grody and Hahn were up there for right-handed hitters, and he was over in left center field. Now he's moved to right center and deep, and he noticed it and picked it up. Kranepool is ready. And so is Rollie Fingers. Fastball, too low. Ball one. The Mets looking for just one more miracle. The A's in their last two ball games have looked like the Oakland Ball Club everybody understood them to be. Good pitching, powerful 320 game winners. All of the A's are up on the front step. There's a strike at the knees. All of the A's, these same A's that fought each other, that fought their owner, all through the season and all through this World Series, now as one unit, are standing on the top step of their dugout, ready just to break into celebration should they win their second World Series in a row. Fingers with a 1-1 strike, comes back, it's fouled off, and now Kranepool has a 1-2 count on him. Herb Noren gets out and waves back his left fielder, while a fan breaks out onto the field in right field and shakes Reggie Jackson's hand, and then with nobody saying to do anything, comes back, said, "I did it," climbs back into the stand. Noren is trying to get Davalillo's attention. He's way over in right center field and wave him around toward dead center. They don't feel Kranepool is going to pull the ball that much. 1-2 with 2 outs. Garrett on deck. 5-1, Oakland. 2 out in the ninth. Curveball, foul, just barely ticked. It rolls to the screen. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Marty Springstead turns around and holds up his finger, pointing back toward the photographers and fans just off to the left of home plate. Kranepool waits. Fingers has the sign. The pitch is a curveball bounded toward the first baseman, Tennis. He bobbles the ball. Crazy bobbles it. The fans came on thinking it was all over, but it is not. It is 5-2, runners at first and third, and we are still in the game as Garrett steps up. They'll have to clear the fans off. They're shaking and hugging each other as though it's all over. But while they do that and now leave the field, let's pause 30 seconds for station identification. With Ralph Kiner, who is down in the Mets dressing room, this is Jim Simpson. The fans have left the field, but Dick Williams, the manager of the Oakland A's, is walking onto the field. This ball game should be over by now. But Gene Tennis, last year's World Series hero, was in playing superb defense at first base until now, allowed the ball to play him, booted it away, then upped it again. And with the left-hander Garrett coming up, Fingers is going to walk out, and Darrell Knowles runs in. The hand is for Rollie Fingers. Will pitch 3 1/3 innings. Has given up an unearned run, 3 base hits, struck out 2 and walked 1. For Darrell Knowles, this is his 7th World Series game. You can't play in any more than that. It is a series record. Darrell Knowles, out with a bad hand last year, unable to play, sets a series record this year and gets a chance now to shut the door on the New York Mets, who have an unearned run. It is a 5-2 ball game. And with runners at first and third, the only man in the world to hit 2 home runs is the tying run, Wayne Garrett. He will face Darrell Knowles. Garrett today has struck out 3 times in 4 appearances. Teddy Martinez has gone in to run for Cranepool at first base. So it is Hahn over at third, Martinez at first. And Garrett 0 for 4 for the day, 5 for 29 for the series. Facing Knowles, the fastball is in the dirt. They play Garrett, even though he's going against the fastballing left-hander, way around to the right, still to pull the ball. And now the fans realize, instead of this World Series being over, as it should be, but for the error, one swing of the bat could tie it up. Knowles back, throws a little looper. Campaneris goes back, says, "I've got it, that is it!" The fans are all over the field. The Oakland A's have won their 2nd consecutive World Series championship. The first time that's been done since the Yankees of 62 and 63. And for the first time in the last 7 World Series, one league has won 2 in a row, and that is, of course, the American League. Charles O. Finley being led off now, carrying an Oakland pennant as he heads for the dressing room. The fans are trying to get to the dressing room, and we'll be back for some dressing room talk in just a moment, but now we pause for this message.